Creditor. It's 4 to 6 minutes. Let's welcome Marty. Two concepts define who I am. I am a Western New Yorker. Some people may think of these as two contradictory terms, Western and the epitome of the East, New York. But I'm a combination of all that is these two things. It's really a mixture that started where I was born, in Western New York State. The Buffalo, East Aurora area, actually. And Western New York sums up not only where I'm from, but what I've become. It's a combination of the slow-moving, wide-open, possibility-filled West with the instant gratification, heart-pumping, hectic pace of New York. It started when I was 10 years old and I learned how to downhill ski on the ice-covered slopes of a nearby golf course. Buffalo winters are intense like everything in New York, and I always had more snow than we knew what to do with, so skiing was a great outlet. In Buffalo, we got a lot of snow for a lot of weeks. And I loved how the snow calmed everything down, kind of taking the New Yorkness out of New York. And what I learned in that was that the first snow days they granted us as hardy Buffalonians were really a nice way to get a quiet, slower pace to modulate all of the hectic days that happen for us as students in school, taking classes, piano lessons, 4-H meetings, and dinners with the family. Sometime in the middle of those Buffalo winters, those long Buffalo winters, downhill skiing became my passion and my love. It was freedom, and it felt really different than all the rules and all the strict kinds of things that happened with the pilgrims back east. Skiing in Western New York meant evening skiing at places like Kissing Bridge and Bluemont ski areas, where it was about minus 10 degrees and then the wind chill factor on top of it, and our little frozen leather boots were lace-ups at the time that then made way to some buckle boots. Things like grabbing on with woolen mittens frozen over onto those rope toes where you had to peel your hands off at the end of the journey. And my skiing got better and I got bored. The little hills really weren't enough anymore, and I decided I wanted to take up the wild world of downhill ski racing. So I asked my parents about that, and my dad told me that there was no way I could join the racing program because it was way too dangerous. He said, "How about this new freestyle ski program?" I thought to myself, wow, dangerous, man. Isn't jumping off a ramp and flipping into the snow a little bit more dangerous? But I guess he didn't understand what he was suggesting at the time, because I think he was thinking about people like the freestyle world that was going on with Susie Chaffee, who was dancing around on ballet skis, spinning around down the mountain with pop music playing in her little skin-tight neon ski suit. Or maybe he was just thinking about Susie Chaffee. But nonetheless, I decided that that was the time I was going to become a freestyle skier. So in high school, I started competing in ballet skiing and moguls and a little bit of aerials, very simple aerials. But as my passion for the sport increased, I started to realize that all the really hot freestyle skiers were skiing in the West. They were not in New York. So my senior year in high school, I made my first trip west from New York to a freestyle ski camp, and I fell absolutely in love with the West. The big mountains, the sunshine, the wide open space, and people that really love the outdoors. One of the things I loved is that you could drive for a good hour or more and not see another person, and I thought that was pretty cool coming from the East. I was really hooked, and although that first freestyle ski camp was just a week, and all I got to do was take a peek at the mountains of Idaho and Utah and Wyoming, I knew that I'd be back. I had to move back out west. So about 4 years later, I left New York in 1980. I packed up my station wagon with my girlfriend and her dog and a college degree and a pair of skis, heading west, hoping for some really wonderful opportunities to do some figure eights and waist-deep powder. And I knew that I was headed home. I was coming to Park City. And Park City at the time was a community of about 4,000 people. There wasn't a single traffic light. And there were two resorts. There was the Park City Mountain Resort and Park West. Shortly after I arrived, my inner New Yorker sprung into action, seeing opportunity for a brilliant career with the newly announced Deer Valley Resort. And I decided that this was a great opportunity for me to open my very own little advertising agency. So how much more New York can you get to open an ad agency? So my inner New Yorker might be located in the West, but she was ready to rumble for some new accounts and some great opportunities. And success came quickly to me. I think it was probably because I moved a little faster than most of the people, and I had a little bit more confidence having come from the East than some of the folks I encountered. And I guess I asked myself, do I really have something better to offer? The answer was not necessarily, but I had been accustomed to the hustle and bustle of New York, and I was once again a true Western New Yorker. That was 1980, and I've now spent more years in the West than I ever did in the East. I am a Western woman now. I'm used to wide open spaces, very few lines, and the belief that anything is possible. I am truly a Western New Yorker.